Hi, my name is Lotte Vesterli, the author of Life After Bullying, 3-Step to Inner Peace. In this book, I share with you my story, as well as 30 exercises that you can use to change your life. But today I really want to share with you my story. Why did I start writing Life After Bullying? What was the things that happened to me in my life? When I started in grade 1, I was bullied by my teacher, who of some reason figured out that I was stupid, and that she embedded very deep inside of me. It also meant that my classmates back then didn't want to have anything to do with me. So I was the one who wasn't invited to birthday parties, who was chosen last, if at all. I had one friend outside the class who told me, and remember these are the first grades, that we should never talk in school because she was afraid of being bullied as well. Those things hurt, and they hurt in a way that I didn't realize in the beginning. But they set the stage for me to not trusting myself, to not believing myself, to not feeling that I was worth anything at all. And those things that was embodied so deep in me that they stayed on. When I moved class at the end of grade 3, I was unable to read a single word. To this day, I remember that first day when I was in that class. And the feeling. It wasn't easy for me to be in that class because I was at that time being so shy and so insecure, so it was very hard to make friends. But it was still a much better feeling than it was before then. In that summer, I changed class just a few weeks before the summer. But in that summer, I read my first word, and I still remember it to this day. I was sitting in our living room. I was sitting with my cat, feeding it. And my cat's name was Kisser. And I looked at the box of cat food. And there stand Kisser, Kisser. And the tears started running down my cheeks. Because finally, I was reading a word. I started to learn to read quite rapidly from then. And I started to love books, and I was reading a lot. I started to get high marks as well. But I still felt I was this stupid girl who was unable to learn. Because I was told that from a high authority, my teacher. She told me I was unable to learn. So I was. No matter how much I read, how good my written things was, how good marks I could get in any written things. I couldn't get high marks in oral things because I almost lost my voice. My voice was so low that I got special therapists, speech therapist, throughout my whole school years. So, but even though I could see those marks, I still didn't believe in myself. And that stayed on for years. Then when I was 30 years old, I had my first child. He was 6 months at the time and didn't sleep much. And suddenly, my husband got a book from the States. And I live in Denmark. And at that time, remember, the internet was so new that you couldn't search things. We are back in 96. So you couldn't really research things on the internet. I had no idea that you could do anything about how I felt. But he ordered the book, and it came with a booklet of things, so that's how you know that other things are out in that firm. And for learning strategies, they had some Pelimos, some tapes, cassette tapes back then, with things like anxiety-free, self-esteem supercharger, 10 minutes energizer. And I just thought, I got to have those. Because at that time, with a 6-month-old boy, I didn't sleep much. So I was focusing more on my sleep. And what happened with my sleep was that I was afraid I couldn't fall asleep. So, and then had the spiral, and then I couldn't fall asleep, and then I would be afraid, and then so the spiral would go on. So anyway, we ordered the tapes, and they worked. They worked for much more than my anxiety, for sleeping. They start working on my social anxiety. So I ended up buying everything that I could get from that firm and start to raise up my anxiety, help my self-esteem. Slowly, my voice got stronger. Slowly, I started to interact with other people. Back then, you would never see me speak in public. You would hardly ever see me in public. I would hide in the kitchen or were the quiet one standing at the wall, not interacting with people. But I started to interact with people. I started to push myself outside my comfort zone more and more and more. And at the end of that journey, I started to work with people like Jack Canfield, Dr. Deb Sandella with the RIM Institute, learning about myself, learning about our brain, our plasticity, and finding out more and more ways I could change myself. And I changed. And I really started to change. And then I started to learn to help other people change. So when I finally had come out and started to really show my true me, I figured out that I was smart. I was able to accomplish the thing I wanted to do. I was able to help other people to change. And a whole new world of opportunities started to open up. So after I changed and after I started to work with people, I realized I want to help people change, as many people to change as possible. So that's why I wrote Life After Bullying. Because I wanted you to have something that can start to change your life. I was the person with such a low voice that I was usually overheard. I was the one with social anxiety, who did not believe myself. And today, I speak up for more than 200 people in English, in Danish, had workshop trainings. I want you to experience that kind of life. Because I could do it. You can too. Start taking the next step. Whatever that looks like for you, take that next step and change your life. Thank you for listening.